I didn't just lose my way, I almost lost myself. Have you ever felt like you were living a double life? One where everyone expects you to be perfect, but deep down, you're craving something more. That was Amarachi reality. The daughter of a respected pastor, she had the world at her feet, but when she left for the big city, everything changed. In one moment, she went from being the perfect pastor's daughter to someone barely recognizable, caught up in a world that could destroy everything she had ever known. This is the story of how one wrong choice can lead you down a dangerous path, and how sometimes the only way to save yourself is to find your way back home. Before we dive into this story, I just want to give a huge shout out to my amazing subscribers. You guys have no idea how much your support means to me. To my returning subscribers, you all are the real MVPs. God bless you. And to those of you who haven't subscribed yet, please take a moment to hit that subscribe button. It's free, and it helps so much. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you'll never miss a new video. Alright, let's get started. In the heart of eastern Nigeria lived a young girl named Amarachi. She was the pride of her father, Pastor Jude, a man known far and wide for his wisdom, his faith, and his dedication to serving God. Pastor Jude was a well-respected figure in their village, admired for his teachings and integrity. He had one big dream for Amarachi, to become a doctor and use her talents to help people. From a young age, he raised her with the utmost care, teaching her to always follow the right path, to fear God, and to never stray from what's good and true. But Amarachi, though brilliant and gifted, wasn't just the perfect pastor's daughter everyone believed her to be. Deep inside, there was a quiet, rebellious fire she couldn't ignore. She longed to experience life beyond the rules, beyond the perfect image everyone had of her. When she got accepted into Lagos University to study medicine, Pastor Jude was over the moon. He thought it was a sign that everything was going according to God's plan. What he didn't know was that university life would pull Amarachi into a world she had never imagined, a world of bad friends, dangerous choices, and temptations that would almost destroy her. The moment Amarachi stepped off the bus in Lagos, the bustling city, she felt a rush of freedom. It was nothing like her quiet village, where everyone knew who she was. Here, she could finally be her own person. No one knew her as Pastor Jude's daughter. She was just Amarachi, free to live how she wanted. Yes, finally I'm free from all the eyes watching me back home. I can breathe, she thought as she walked into campus for the first time. It was all so exciting, so new. One day, while sitting in the campus canteen, Amarachi met a girl named Chika. Chika was everything Amarachi wasn't: bold, stylish, and completely carefree. Amarachi was drawn to her confidence and soon found herself falling into Chika's world. Chika introduced her to the glamorous side of university life: parties, designer clothes, and flashing lights. It was a side of life Amarachi had only dreamed about. It wasn't long before Amarachi attended her first party, a high-end event at a fancy club. The music was loud, the atmosphere electric, and the people, well, they were rich, powerful, and full of life. This was nothing like the quiet church gatherings she was used to. Amarachi felt alive in a way she had never felt before. It was here she met Emeka, a wealthy businessman in his late 30s, who seemed to have it all. His smooth talk and flashy charm immediately caught Amarachi's attention. "Why stress yourself with books when life can be this sweet?" Emeka whispered, flashing her a smile. He promised her a life of luxury, far from the struggles her father had always warned her about. Amarachi knew she was walking on dangerous ground, but the temptation was too strong. "Yes, this is freedom. This is living," Amarachi thought, ignoring the small voice inside her head that urged caution. Chika pushed her deeper into the fast life. "Amarachi, this is what university is about. Live your life, girl. You're young. Enjoy it." As weeks went by, Amarachi found herself more and more entangled in Emeka's world. Expensive gifts, jewelry, and money were sent her way, and for the first time in her life, she felt important. She started skipping classes and spending all her time with Emeka at fancy restaurants and private beach houses. This is the life, she thought, letting go of the dreams she once had. Her grades slipped, but she convinced herself that there was plenty of time to catch up later. Meanwhile, back in the village, Pastor Jude was proud, thinking his daughter was excelling in school. But the truth was, Amarachi was losing herself in the glittering world of luxury. Her professors began noticing her absence, and her classmates grew concerned. But Amarachi was too caught up in the excitement to care. As the weeks passed, she started noticing something strange. Emeka was becoming more controlling. He would demand to know where she was at all times, scolding her if she spent time with anyone else. Chika too seemed different, more distant, more secretive. Amarachi could feel something wasn't right, but she pushed those thoughts away. The fun was too good to stop now. One day, Chika invited Amarachi to meet some of her special friends. "These men run things around here," Chika said, flashing a mysterious smile. When Amarachi arrived, she was shocked to find herself in a room with older men, some of them in their 40s and 50s. Their eyes made her uncomfortable, but she tried to stay calm. It was then that Chika revealed the truth. These men were part of a secret cult that had influence over everything that happened on campus. Chika explained that joining them would guarantee Amarachi money, power, and protection. "Everyone who matters is connected to them," she said. Amarachi's mind raced. She had grown up hearing her father warn her about the dangers of the world, about selling your soul for temporary pleasure. But now, faced with the reality of joining this cult, the temptation was overwhelming. Chika promised that it would be safe and that it would make everything easier. But Amarachi knew deep down there was always a price to pay. That night, Amarachi lay awake, feeling trapped. The life she had once dreamed of seemed so far away now. She thought of her father, Pastor Jude, praying for her, believing she was focused on her studies. But here she was, caught up in something so dangerous that it threatened everything she had ever known. The next day, she confronted Chika. "Are you sure this is safe? Joining a cult? Is that really the way?" she asked. Chika just rolled her eyes. "Amarachi, you're already halfway in. Do you think all this money and power come without strings attached?" she said, her voice cold. Amarachi started to feel more and more trapped. The lavish gifts, the parties, and the attention weren't worth it anymore. They had become a cage she couldn't escape from. But it was too late. Emeka called her one night, his voice filled with menace. "Meet me at the club now," he ordered. When Amarachi arrived, he was sitting in a private lounge, his eyes cold. "I've done a lot for you, Amarachi," he said, his voice low. "Now it's time for you to show some loyalty. You're in this now. You owe me." Amarachi felt her stomach twist. She had no way out. Emeka wasn't offering gifts anymore. He was offering a lifestyle she couldn't leave. She felt like she had fallen into a pit, and now there was no way out. So after so much pressure from Emeka and Chika, Amarachi felt trapped. They were always pushing her to join the cult, and even though she didn't want to, she was afraid of losing Emeka's money and Chika's approval. It seemed like everyone around her was doing it, and she didn't want to be left out. The more they pressured her, the harder it became to say no. Finally, she gave in and agreed to join the cult. The night of the initiation was terrifying. She had to take an oath, promising never to reveal the cult's secrets. They promised her power, protection, and endless money. But deep down, she felt nervous, like something wasn't right. She had no idea that this decision would change her life forever. After joining the cult, Amarachi completely changed. She wasn't the sweet, shy girl from her father's house anymore. She became bold, rebellious, and wild. She started partying all night, staying out until the sun came up, and living like nothing could touch her. She became known for being the life of the party. She also started hanging out with Chika more, and the two of them would go to clubs every weekend. Amarachi felt powerful and in control, surrounded by people who admired her. She was always in the center of attention, with a cigarette in her hand, puffing out smoke like she was the boss. It felt amazing at first, but soon, the high wore off. To keep up with the energy of her new lifestyle, Amarachi turned to dangerous drugs. These substances made her feel like she could do anything without fear of consequences. She didn't care about the risks anymore. The crimes started small, stealing wallets, scamming rich men, and even sneaking into professors' offices to change grades for money. As time went on, Amarachi became more involved in illegal activities. She started luring men into paying for fake services, only to steal from them once they were drunk and passed out. She felt like a queen, ruling over her world with no care for anyone else. She even started recruiting other girls into the cult, telling them that the easy money and freedom she had were the only things that mattered. Why study hard when you can get everything you want with a few tricks? she would say, pretending like she had all the answers. But even with all the money and attention, Amarachi felt something missing inside her. Chica's perfect body always caught the eyes of the men around them. Amarachi couldn't help but feel insecure about her own looks. She started wishing she could be as beautiful as Chica. One day, while they were talking, Amarachi admitted, "I wish I had your body, Chica." Chica laughed and said, "You can have it. I wasn't born with this body. I got surgery to make it look like this. If you want men to notice you like they do me, you should do the same. Emeka will pay for it." At first, the idea scared Amarachi. Surgery? That seemed risky. But the more she thought about it, the more she wanted to have the same attention that Chica got. She decided to ask Emeka for the money. Emeka, who had been giving her money for everything else, agreed without hesitation. "You'll look even more amazing," he said, already thinking about the attention they would get together. The surgery completely changed Amarachi. When she came back to campus, people couldn't stop staring at her. Men who used to ignore her were now paying her compliments and asking for her number. Amarachi loved the attention. It made her feel powerful and important, but the surgery came with serious consequences. Soon, Amarachi started feeling sharp pains in her back. She tried to ignore it at first, but one night she woke up to find her body covered in sores. The pain was unbearable, and her skin was swollen and leaking pus. It was like her body was rejecting the surgery. The smell was awful. She tried to hide it from everyone, but the rumors spread fast. The same girls who once admired her now whispered behind her back, calling her the girl whose body stinks. When Emeka found out about her condition, he stopped answering her calls. He wanted nothing to do with her anymore. Chica disappeared too, leaving Amarachi to suffer alone. One evening, sitting on the floor in her apartment, crying from the pain, Amarachi whispered, "God, I know I've gone wrong. Please help me. I know I've made mistakes." For the first time in a long time, she prayed, asking for forgiveness and a second chance. She called her father, Pastor Jude. "Daddy, I've ruined my life. I need help," she sobbed into the phone. Pastor Jude's voice was calm but filled with worry. "Where are you, Amarachi? I'm coming to get you right now." When he arrived, the sight of his daughter broke his heart. She was in so much pain, and her body was unrecognizable. He hugged her tightly, tears in his eyes. "Why didn't you tell me, Amarachi?" he asked, his voice full of sadness. "I was afraid, Daddy. I didn't want you to hate me," she said, crying harder. Pastor Jude was hurt and angry, but his love for his daughter was stronger. He couldn't abandon her when she needed him the most. He took Amarachi home with him and called his church to help her. News of her condition spread, and people who respected her father came forward with donations to pay for her treatment. They raised enough money to send Amarachi abroad for surgery. The doctors there saved her life. Slowly, her body began to heal, but the real change was in her heart. She realized how far she had fallen and how much she had taken for granted. When Amarachi returned to Nigeria, she was a different person. She didn't care about money or attention anymore. Instead, she wanted to help others avoid the same mistakes she had made. She started speaking at schools and universities, sharing her story. "Easy money is a lie," she would say. "Chasing things that seem good at the moment can destroy your life in the long run." Her words touched many young people who were inspired to make better choices. Even the boys who heard her story understood that greed and bad choices were not the path to happiness. One day, while speaking to a group of students, Pastor Jude stood beside her, proud of how far his daughter had come. "You've made me so proud, Amarachi," he whispered. In that moment, Amarachi knew she had found her true purpose. Despite everything, she had been given a second chance, a chance to turn her mistakes into a story of hope and redemption. At the end of the day, the story teaches us that seeking easy money, fame, and beauty can lead to destruction. Real happiness comes from living with honesty, being true to yourself, and valuing family and integrity. It's never too late to change your ways and find redemption, no matter how far you've gone down the wrong path.